Do you see this flower right here? It is the most incredible bloom in my entire collection. I have hundreds and hundreds of tropical plants. I have grown this plant for years, so I can tell you right now that it is easy in a northern climate where you have to bring it inside during the winter time. Despite its exotic, even fragile looking blooms, it will have no problems. As long as you know how to care for a grocery store orchid, you can care for a Medinilla magnifica. So there are two types of Medinilla that I'm growing. This one is definitely the prettier flower out of the two of them. It's a little bit more of an awkward plant to grow because it's a very wide plant. It doesn't grow tall. It hangs from trees in the wild. And so you'll actually really see it growing in very similar conditions to a grocery store orchid. The soil is a little bit harder, I guess you could say. It's it has very fibrous roots. It's not growing really in true soil. It's kind of growing in like a peat moss. All right, so very easy to grow in a tiny container, but how about these blooms? I want to first tell you when it starts blooming, so that way if you're not convinced already at how easy a houseplant is, you will be. Because this actually starts producing buds inside the house in February. It doesn't get any special, treatment of any variety. It grows inside I actually had it in my bedroom this year. Last year I had it in the kitchen. So it is in a pretty low humid environment, and it does really well inside the house. This is what the flower looks like. It has this beautiful bract, which eventually leads to blooms in between the bracts, and it looks like a chandelier, right? So the colors from these bracts last for months, and the blooms, they only last for a few days, but after the blooms are finished, you get these little tiny berries that last a bit longer. So again, this started blooming in February. It's May now, so we had March, April, May, 3 months of color, and it's still going. We're not done yet. So you could expect to get anywhere from 3 to 6 months of beautiful color from this plant, typically a little bit later in the spring or even into early summer. I have another Medinilla, its cousin Myrantha. In my collection, I've had that one since 2017, so it is going on 8 years now that I've had that in my collection. It has a more upright habit, and it blooms in the fall. So I am getting Medinilla blooms almost all year long in my collection. Myrantha doesn't have as showy flowers as Magnifica. It doesn't have these bracts that kind of go with the flowers. It looks more like berries, and it has a lot more berries, the Myrantha. It's very pretty as well. You kind of can just pick your favorite based on preference or grow both of them because they both have really similar growing conditions. I have never repotted either of these plants, so like I mentioned, really easy growing conditions in that sense, and it just blooms so much. It's reliably blooming every single spring with no extra care or attention. So these actually already finished blooming, but look at how beautiful they still are. You could tell they're finished blooming because those aren't buds, those are kind of like the berries. It doesn't produce any seeds as far as I know, but that color lasts for a really long time when this plant is happy. So that's why it really just keeps looking as if it's blooming for so long. You can see this one still has a few flowers on it. I'm looking kind of from behind, but those are what the flowers look like. And yeah, just a spectacular plant. So why do we love Medinilla magnifica? Long-lasting blooms, does well in low humidity inside the house. It'll actually produce flowers inside the house, usually in February. So unlike most of my tropical plants, it thrives and not just survives. It does great by the pond. It doesn't need to be repotted. It stays a small size, easy to start from cuttings. That's a lot of reasons to like a plant. So let me flip it over and show it to you one more time before I show you the rest of the ponds. Look how pretty that is. So you can see all of the new flowers coming up, just magnificent, absolutely beautiful. Lots and lots of flowers still blooming between the flower bracts. And then of course you get these berries that kind of last a while. So nice plant. I think it would do great in a hanging basket. I have this fern. It's a voluntary fern. It's not something I planted. I have this, you see all the spores coming off of it? Look at all the spores coming off of this fern. That's amazing. I have my elephant staghorn fern just kind of chilling in this container. And let me show you the rest of the pond. So this is a Gaussia Princeps palm. I'm experimenting with the idea of kind of just putting it here for the season. I think it kind of looks nice. It's like a giant majesty palm. I have a Christmas palm, and then really so excited this year because I finally put my staghorn fern on a hanging pole. I think I showed this in the last video, but I'm really enjoying how it looks so far. We have the water feature that kind of just trails like a river all the way down, and it's just such a scene. I feel like I didn't really show the pond too much in my last video, so I wanted to spend a little bit more time talking about it in this one. I have the fuchsia kind of growing from this really funky looking container. My papyrus plant over here doing pretty well. We're going to experiment with this Livistonia chilenensis palm tree. And by experiment, I mean probably kill, but we'll try it. My Musa Ae Ae banana, it's been relaxing in the shade for the past 2 weeks. So it is just about ready to go into its future spot. And I'm gonna show you this future spot, but first I think I'm gonna sneeze. No, I think we're okay. Sorry, I don't know, maybe touching those ferns spores. Now the hiccups. Guys, just trying to make a video here, and my body says, nope, no video for you. We're gonna make you do all the things we don't want you to do. Anyway, flipping the camera now. I wanna show you where my Musa Ae Ae banana is gonna go and why I'm so excited about it. It's gonna go here. In the ground. I don't know if I'm going to plant it in the ground or just sort of submerge the container in the ground, but I'm excited because it's going to look so cool next to this elephant ear. And I'm going to like experiment with some other nice little tropicals to kind of put in this corner. This is my hardy hibiscus. What's the name of it? Midnight Marvel, I believe. Midnight Marvel. And it's got these beautiful red flowers, really nice kind of purpley foliage. I am red-green colorblind, so I usually don't like red flowers, but this is an exception. Speaking of red flowers, my canna finally in bloom. Really excited about this too. We have got some gorgeous canna blooms already. It's only May and it's already canna time, so I'm happy about that. I accidentally started that inside the house a little early. Really excited about this Snow Queen hibiscus. It's submerged in a container. You can still see the container because I need to mulch over it. I do have some pots over here of dahlias and various other things that still need to be potted up. So it looks a little messy here still, but it's coming along slowly but surely. My Musifolia cannas survived the winter. All of these are pretty close to the house, so I think that played a big role in getting them to survive the winter. And then my star jasmine's getting ready to flower. This also is a winter survivor, and I lost a lot of plants this winter, but this is one that did magnificently, and you can see all of the flower buds. So a good bet that this is going to look really nice in about a week or two. I do finally have some of my ginger popping up. This is really exciting. I thought I lost all of my Hedychium ginger, but these did survive the winter. I have 2 of them coming up. I do have a lot more of them planted farther down the bed, farther away from the house. So I don't know what's going to happen to those because you can see that the roots here look very rotted, but sometimes they'll come back from underneath the roots. So we can't lose up hope. We just can't lose hope yet. I'm a little nervous about those. My blueberry bush is looking great, very bushy. Hope that means lots of blueberries. And yeah, the entire garden's really coming along. I got these really nice mandevillas for just a couple of dollars. I love these cannas. Local plant sales are key. I love a local plant sale. Every neighborhood has one. You're going to find unusual things. This was from Farmingdale State College, just an awesome variety of different types of geraniums. And I think it's just going to look super cool. I've never really seen one with this star-like pattern before. I don't know if it really matches the pink from the mandevilla, but I like it. I like it because it's unusual. So the last video, I didn't have all of these quite yet, and now everything's coming along really nicely. I also have a lot of my squash starting to come up. We have Palermo. I'm going to Italy this year, so I wanted to make sure I had some Palermo squash because I like to, you know, grow things that remind me of the places that I visit. I have some melons because I like melons and I've never grown them before. And I'm actually a little allergic to melons, but I still like them. They like scratch on the way down, but that's fine. They taste good. The watermelons are coming up pretty nicely, and my okra. And you know what? I was kind of surprised. I was like, I'm growing okra because I can't find okra at local nurseries. And guess what? I went to a local nursery and they had okra. But it's so much cheaper to grow your own. Like, all of my okra cost me like $3. If I went to a nursery, it would have cost maybe $3 for one okra plant. So I started them from seed, and it was really easy. My Ponderosa lemon is living her best life. I sync my citrus with the seasons. I talked about that in an earlier video, and it always pays off. So it's going to bloom and flush with leaves in the springtime when it's supposed to. I actually got some blooms inside the house from this lemon, which was a little bit nerve-wracking, but it looks like it took. I have one lemon coming up. This one fell off. This one's coming up, so I have 2 Ponderosa lemons, and when you realize how really ridiculously big they are, you realize 2 lemons is actually pretty decent. It's like the size of my hand. I can't even pick it up. So I'm thinking now I'm going to get 2 lemons this year because this one didn't take and this one didn't. Actually, that's not even a lemon. Maybe it was a lemon. The lemons are so big that you can't even tell what's a lemon and what's a stem. But yeah, so things are coming along pretty nicely, guys. Really happy so far with the way that the patio's looking. I'm going to do just a quick little turnaround. I'll show you a couple of new plants I got, and then I'll let you go. But yeah, so here's the patio. Very palmy, love that. My Trachycarpus latisatus Windermere palm. Windermere palm is what I'm going to call it. The old man palm, Cocothrinax crenata, probably. My Latin is just so bad today. I have my triangle palm and my Bismarckia. A lot of people call this a Hawaiian palm, and it's not a palm tree, it's a succulent, but it looks really cool, and it's native to Hawaii. This is another Medinilla, because I know this is about Medinilla, and my other plants kind of hijacked it, but this is Medinilla myrantha, and you really can see the difference in video with this being such an upright habit versus the other one, which was not. So I do like both of them for different reasons, but the upright habit might be better for you depending on what you're looking for in the garden. But this also does have some flower buds popping up, and they do last a long time. So even if you don't get the flowers, it's still very pretty, but I love when it's in bloom. And if you look in the corner here, you'll see a really unusual begonia. I'm going to try and sneak in there. I still have some of these plants tucked away because I wanted them to sink into, or rather slowly acclimate to the sunshine. And we do have some new growth coming up. It's very palmy looking, very pretty. I showed this a little bit in the last video. Stromanthe is a really fun plant. This one's kind of on its last legs, but it'll come back. Nun orchid is amazing. I love nun orchid. Very, very pretty leaves, and then the flowers are even more beautiful, and it's a ground orchid. My Hibiscus tillaceus, variegated sea hibiscus, we lost a few leaves, but overall really did pretty good acclimating from indoors to outside, and the leaves will get a really beautiful, gorgeous variegation. This is nothing compared to how it'll look when it grows out in a couple of weeks. It's going to have beautiful reds and really dark greens, and it's going to be spectacular. I don't see anything too interesting yet on the New Zealand flax. I'm hoping for some blooms at some point. This was, you know, outside through the winter time, good chunk of the winter. Here's another new plant. Ignore the mess. The mess goes into the shed eventually. But this is my Stromanthe. I don't know what variety this is, but I thought it was super cool. It's a little bit of a different type of Stromanthe, and it was so big, and it was like $10 at a local plant sale. I just thought that was a really cool one. The Brugmansia is getting bigger by the day. I am so impressed with how fast it's growing. I haven't even had a chance to give it a pulse of fertilizer yet, and it's already growing so well. Having, you know, slow go at it with the bird of paradise so far, but hoping that those will come back pretty nicely. My Siam ruby bananas really doing pretty well. I'm not going to prune off the old growth yet because you notice how weak the stems are. This one fell over, and I'll probably have to cut it back. So we're slowly getting that back to outdoor time. Look at these beautiful dark reds, though. Nothing else has that red with the green stemming. Very, very pretty. and my hibiscus hasn't really awoken yet. I'm looking to see that, yes, there is some new growth on it, but it's going to take a while. Usually you don't really start getting lots of flowers again until about 4th of July. 4th of July is when things will start to look good for that. And plumeria are waking up. I have one that's in bloom that I showed in the last video, and I'm hoping that I'll get some blooms on my Scott Pratt, because she is a diva, is what we call her. So some plumeria do take a little longer to bloom than others, and you just won't get blooms in colder climates with certain plumeria. I want to show you my windmill palm. This is my only decent looking windmill palm, and it was the one I protected the least. So it was a very strange winter in that way, because I really didn't protect this much. And unfortunately, even my better looking one is showing some signs of damage. And this really didn't show up until the last week or two. So palm trees do sometimes take time to show winter damage. It's already May, and we've had a lot of warm weather in April, and it really didn't start showing damage until pretty recently. I'll briefly take you to the front yard because I want to show you my fishtail palm, and I'll show you my other windmill palm and how much damage that has, because it's pretty sad, honestly. I lost my sable minor. It died. My needle palm, I lost the main trunk. I'm hoping the main trunk will come back, but it might not. And that was a surprise. The babies did survive, but still. Okay, so let me just show you some of the good and some of the eh. The good is this beautiful new fishtail palm. I won't even tell you the price. It was such a good deal. My, of course, mule palm. That was in the garage all winter. Doing great. So these are some of the good. The eh is the Chamaedorea microspotiques. No cold damage on this. Sorry, I still have a mess I need to put into the garage. No cold damage, this is sun damage. Lots of sun damage on the fronds, despite my best efforts. But I think once I take, maybe I'll cut off the sun damaged ones today, and because once I clean it up, it'll actually look pretty good. The same for the Livistonia, a little bit of sun damage, but that looks okay once we cut off the dead fronds and the damaged ones. This little area is coming together. I am still working on some seeds. So things, I don't know, it's been slow. I'm not afraid to show it because this is a working garden. Everything will look good soon. Look at the flush of citrus leaves coming up, just beautiful. Citrus do grow in flushes, and sometimes they grow just leaves, and sometimes these flushes come with flowers like my Satsuma. So what's interesting is my Satsuma produced no fruit, no flowers last year. They tend to kind of take a year off if they have a heavy fruiting period, but this year it's going to be on. I'm going to get lots of citrus. I look at this amazing lantana I got, just a few dollars, and an amazing, amazing plant. Have you ever seen a lantana with color like that on the leaves? It's just stunning. My citrus here this is specifically a Meyer lemon, had lots of fruit on it last year, and we got a couple of flowers, nothing really crazy. It's definitely working a little more on vegetative growth, but we have a couple of flowers, and I'm pretty excited about it. Little Miss Figgy. That's her name, Little Miss Figgy. Isn't that cute? I'm gonna pot that up once I find a pot. Kind of used up a lot of my containers. And this is my Ensete Banana, which overwintered in the garage. It looks a little beat up this time of the year, but it is coming together. My Encore azaleas also took a beating this year. You can see not looking its best, but it looks okay. My Glacier Eucalyptus, a newer variety that's supposed to be cold hardy, did have some damage, even just keeping it in the garage over the winter. But it's alive, and we'll see what happens. But it's growing, so we'll see how big it gets. Yes, the Encore azalea, for some reason, this one was damaged and this one was not. I guess it was just different cold tolerances, but the Encores are really cool because, in case you don't know, those do rebloom in the autumn. So anyway, this is my front garden bed. I have a new Musella lassocarpia, which is a really cool banana, and my Alfina Ginger's trying to come along over here. It's such a shame because at the plant sale I went to, they had a really, really big Alfina Ginger that I wish I got because that would look so cool. I mean, it was flowering too, and it was just a couple dollars. I may have some regrets not buying that. But this beautiful Ensete Morelli is really coming along. The kale looks so good. I love the dark leaves with the yellow flowers. You can put the yellow flowers in a bouquet, but this finally leaves me with my my windmill palm. I have my replacement right next to it just in case it dies. I'm like, I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't die. But I don't know. It's not looking great. It has some green in the center. I fertilized it, hoping that that was going to give it some oomph. It does not have a lot of oomph. Its oomph is like gone. Anyway, so yeah, I got a blood banana at the plant sale. I did pretty good at this plant sale. Have some really interesting, unusual plants. And even though it's May, my camellia is still in bloom. Since March, this has been blooming. And here we are in May. So that's a very long bloom period for camellia. This is R.L. Wheeler, one of my favorites. And it was the first to bloom and the last to stop blooming. I'm gonna let you go. Look at all of this greenery behind me. A month ago, you would have seen dead trees. And now the birds are chirping. I'm so happy. Bye, guys.